Hi.
Hey everyone. This is the 6th intro. I'm here. My name is Bart. Welcome to the Cancellable Podcast. My name is Bart. I'm here with Kurosh. And Faisal.
Hey guys, what's up?
Please don't.
Okay.
Alright, we're just gonna move on. So last episode, we got into the whole diving and shit. So we didn't get to actually talk about not in shit and shit.
Yo, man, we're talking about diving and shit.
So we
You want to start from the beginning?
What?
Okay, guys. So last episode, we started talking about how we Barrio went to a lot of comedy shows because it was the UAE Comedy Week or Abu Dhabi Comedy Week. But then we got carried away and we didn't talk about it.
Yep.
So I think Barrio wants to talk about it now. We got into diving and shit.
No, I was just saying that they explained that we said we're gonna talk about it, we didn't get to talk about it, so we're gonna talk about it. All right, so there was a lot of comedians who came to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
For the full week. There was Bad Friends, Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino. There's Joy Coy, Tom Segura, Dave Chappelle, Bassem Youssef, Jobrani,
Andrew Schultz.
Not
Chris Rock, the other one.
Chris Tucker,
yeah. I didn't mean it that way.
I know. It's the Chris that you mixed up, not something else.
You piece of shit.
Anyways.
You laugh too.
All right. Anyways, so obviously because
Wait, can I ask you a question before we go into this?
Yeah.
Which one is more gay? If they told you have to make a guy come, right?
What the? Is this the shit that's in your head while we're starting the episode?
No. I heard this somewhere else.
Yeah, sure.
Jerking off with your left hand or your right hand?
Which one is
More gay, yeah.
What?
Because left hand is not as personal, but you're not as good with it, so they're gonna come later.
What do you mean personal?
Like if you're right-handed, your right hand is your dominant.
He's
hand.
saying, are you trying to get to an objective, or you're just stringing it along? Like, if you do it with your hand that's not dominant, it's gonna take longer for the guy.
You gotta put more thought into it because your hand doesn't work as well.
I've never put any thought into this.
Well, now I'm asking you to.
Is this the kind of stuff you think about, like on a flight? Like,
no, legit. I saw it in a video.
What videos are you watching?
It was a Sideman one. Sideman reaction.
Okay.
So
Okay. I'm not gonna answer that because it's.
Don't be gay.
Actually,
Even the way he said it, don't be gay. You
What's
tell us
your
your
answer?
answer. Yeah, exactly.
Huh? I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
So find out.
Yeah.
Because I don't know too.
I'm not trying to participate in you finding out. Just saying, I'm not to count me out.
Like the way
With you will be just 2 fingers, but it's fine.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
you will length speak like to you.
No, but for real, because your left hand doesn't work. If you're right-handed, your left hand doesn't work as well. So you got to think about it more, and it's gonna take longer.
I don't know. The thing is that for me, I write with my right hand, but I drive, I grab stuff and everything with my left. So
You're retarded. Okay, just
I
go back
don't-
to the comedy week. This didn't work the way I thought.
Wait, you drive with your right hand but grab stuff with your left. Okay, I was like,
Hey, everyone drives with their left hand because you can rest it on the side.
Apparently not. And I never
You just
rest-
hold it straight like that.
Yeah, I was like this. Not like this. I'm a fucking Superman. Like
I was
this is the
thinking
mic.
something
like
else.
a
To be honest.
but anyway, yeah, you tell us if you had to think about it. What are you gonna use?
I have been.
Are
thinking
you
about-
right hand or left hand dominant?
I'm right hand dominant.
So you're gonna use your right hand.
I don't know. I'm not planning on doing it anyways. but
So why would you ask?
I just thought it's an interesting question, but you guys decided to be all fucking tight about it.
No, I mean, as in,
No, I just elaborated on your explanation. That's all I did. I wasn't like.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I don't know. I really don't know.
he was trying to get.
If it's like $1 million on the line and they said that whoever makes him come the quickest, then I'm going right.
I thought you said I'm going mouth.
I was gonna say. I was like, bro, if you're trying to make it quick,
Bro, imagine all of us on the line.
You're like, fuck this.
Imagine all of us on the line and we're all like, hey, this guy's going in their mouth first.
That's cheating. That was. No one
Get
told
someone
us.
else. Oh my god. Yeah.
Fuck you.
Your guy says he has a foot fetish. You're like, fuck this. Jiu-jitsu style.
Agush. Oh god, man. Yeah,
Anyway,
thank you for that, bro.
You're welcome.
Comedy week, please. Get back to that.
So The first time that I went for was Dave Chappelle.
Okay.
Sold out.
course, yeah.
And it was a record. And like
For the arena?
for how many people it holds, 16,000 people sold out. He
Holy
did a
shit.
round one, as in like where it's just like he's
Yeah, so it's the full stadium.
and 16,000 people sold out. I made such a big mistake. So for the past few times that we've gone to the comedy like shows and everything in Abu Dhabi, it's always been all of us, like just me and Nat, like Kurosh, Faisal, like other people.
Yeah.
This was one of the first times that Nat and I were going alone. My dumbass, when I booked the seats, when I think my screen was flipped, so instead of booking the seats next to each other,
No way.
I booked them in front of us.
Wow.
Oh no, you're actually retarded.
Wait, how does it even work?
Even if your screen is flipped, it
Yeah,
still tells you stadium is there. These are the rows.
It'll be like row A
Bro,
and row B.
the thing is that obviously it's Dave Chappelle.
So he fucked up the
I
seats.
want to make sure that like I get the tickets, right? And I was on the waiting list, and then like the email came that you can now log in and book it. So I was in a rush. I have no explanation why this happened, but it was much harder to explain to Nat that out of the full comedy week that we're participating in, and this is the only one that we're going together, I've managed to book us separate from one another.
Wait. So she only came with you to Dave Chappelle?
No,
but
she
like
was
the
there.
other
Other ones,
people-
but the other ones
okay.
there were other people as well. So I was like, I don't, and they were all couples next to us, so no one was willing to switch. And it was 16,000 people sold out.
Rookie.
So she sat in front of me.
Rookie,
Every time I laugh, I
like, slap her like, hey, you saw that part? Fuck.
How was the show though? How
it was absolutely amazing. He is truly like one of the best there is and has been. He got the offer to like participate in the comedy week like in December, and he shot his last special, and so that means that within 5 months
Had to come up with material.
he came up with a full special material.
Wow.
And it was great, perfect. And he actually said, it was funny, he said that he was planning on retiring after that last special. But because Abu Dhabi called them and offered them, at first he said no, but then they upped the offer.
Yeah.
He went for it, and it was like, because of this, I'm gonna continue, and I'll be back. I'm gonna come back. So it was.
Well, I mean, they're probably paying him so much, just to book him, and they'd probably pay more than what they would pay in the US.
Oh, 100%.
So for him, bro, imagine for him, it's a trip, holiday, everything
Yeah.
paid for. You get paid. You could even Dave Chappelle could give like a D tier kind of
Performance.
comedy, and people would still laugh.
He has a bit about this. He was like, I'm like, I don't know what he compared himself to. He was like, you pay for the presence, not the performance.
Oh,
I
no,
might.
but he said that before. He said that.
Yeah,
before.
he had a bit in one of his shows, like-
He's like, you don't pay me for the performance. You pay me for the attempt.
Yeah, the attempt. Yeah, that was it.
I guess when you're that good, you get to be that cocky as well.
No, but he's. Man, by the way, he's rich.
He's humble
so
though. He's also humble.
He has every right.
No, but
to
like
be-
the way he brags
He took a
is-
shot at Cat Williams, by the way, because of that.
Oh shit.
Yeah, because
What did
he was
say?
like, Abu Dhabi called me and they were like, we want the best comedian to attend for us. He was like, I have Cat Williams' number. I'll send it to you. And they're like, no, we want you. He's like, okay, but no. And then they was like, this much, no, this much. Okay, fine, I'll do it. It's a lot of money.
Did he
Yeah,
actually say the
exactly.
prices or no?
No, of course not. No.
I'd never say it. Yeah.
It'd be fun to know. Well, how much do you think he gets paid for something like that?
Dirhams or dollars?
Dirhams. Dollars, dirhams.
Bro, I think, again, knowing Abu Dhabi and knowing how incredibly hard they're working on advertising the
Yeah.
comedy week Abu Dhabi, I'd say easy 50 million like that.
What?
5-0.
You're
Yeah.
insane, bro.
Dirhams? Yeah.
No.
Yeah, bro.
Crazy fuck
For
that.
Dave Chappelle?
Of course not.
Bro, oh my God, man.
How many seats? You said 16,000 seats, right?
Yeah,
What were the prices of tickets?
very fucking expensive, but let's say average 600.
Okay. Bro, they make 9 million. What? They're gonna pay 50 million for him to come?
Do you think that Abu Dhabi is looking to make a profit in the beginning.
No,
this?
but it's still bro, 50 million.
No,
Are you
but you have
insane?
to
Like,
think, I don't think
maybe not
50
50.
million,
Maybe not 50, but I'm saying
you
double
have to
digit.
think about it like
I
this.
think like $1 million.
It was
$1 million.
no more than $1 million.
Bro, come on.
For sure.
It being Dave Chappelle and also being Abu Dhabi.
You do one show for $1 million, anyone would do that.
No, but it's not just. He's just not anyone, bro. Like you have no idea how.
That's not what I'm saying.
Bro,
Like,
it was on a. Sorry to cut you, but the show was on a Thursday night. People have work on Fridays, right? So usually you book the biggest act on a Friday and Saturday over the weekend.
Yeah.
Because some people might not show up for the Thursday night because they have to drive to Abu Dhabi and back, right? It was 16,000 people and sold out, meaning that no matter what, people will attend. You know what I mean? So like, this is not just like
okay, $5 million, but still.
no. Again, I'm not agreeing with the 50 million. 5 million is around what 20 million dirhams.
More.
No, it's
No,
around 20.
it's not.
5 times 3.67.
You said 15, no?
No, I said 20.
Oh, I heard 15. Sorry.
Yeah, but I'm saying I don't agree with 50-5-0.
Oh, okay,
but
okay.
I don't know, whatever. Like but it was an amazing show. He did great, and
Standing ovation, I assume.
yeah, both coming in, going out. The opening acts were also good.
Yeah.
Very American though. So like, for example, us who were familiar with all the
The references.
the references and everything, it's more funny. But I think we're gonna get into this because one of the comedians that I went for was Bassem Youssef, but Dave Chappelle also he's made headlines because he made a reference to what's happening in Israel and Palestine.
Yeah, he's very pro-Palestine.
I mean, he is a Muslim.
Yeah, but I mean,
Forget
is in there are there are Muslims out there that aren't pro-Palestine, but the thing is that he's always had the stance of free Gaza, and
He speaks his mind for sure. He made a, in a way he didn't get into it too much, but he did say this. He was like, one of the things that the state needs to do is to make the people who are Jewish in the States feel safe, so they will stop supporting an outside country when their own country keeps them safe. When they feel attacked inside their own country, all they can do is hope for support the other one. And that's it. That was all the referencing, but it was an amazing show. He always what's that thing when they finish the set and then they leave and then they come back?
encore.
He always did that. And his specials and everything, I went and watched them. This time he did it. I was just standing there waiting, and I see him go out, and I'm like, maybe he'll come back.
I think they only do that for specials, like for an actual taping
yeah.
session. It doesn't make sense to do it every night. Like,
Yeah,
you
I
know?
mean, it gets tiring. No, then you'll expect it like you did.
yeah.
I was trying to give him a message, but anyways, it was pretty dope.
Okay.
The next day,
Did you stay in Abu Dhabi?
yeah, I stayed because we were there for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday show. So I was like, might as well make a weekend, like a trip out of it. On Friday, it was Maz Jobrani and an Iranian comedian and Bassem Youssef, who's originally Egyptian, but's right now a resident of the United States because of the shit that went down with him in Egypt. And that one was pretty dope. It was pretty interesting. The thing is that, like, you know how I am. Like, I watch all the comedy specials. I always, like, follow every
Up to
comedian.
date, yeah.
And the thing about Maz Jobrani was that he wasn't as good as before. Like, I've seen I've seen him live and I've watched his specials. It's not true. The Maz Jobrani one was pretty. It was funny, but the audience that were there for the Bassem Youssef. Because if our audience don't know, Bassem Youssef, this Arab comedian, has spoken out a lot about what's been happening in Palestine, and he's been on Morgan Pierce's show. Piers Morgan show.
Morgan.
Yeah.
And
He's been on Pete David's. Pete
talking
Davidson.
No, not Pete
Patrick
Davidson.
David.
Patrick David.
Yeah, Patrick. That was a good one. But yeah, he didn't perform as well because it wasn't his audience.
Right.
And he's doing this new thing where he goes on the screen and goes through this tweet was about this and everything like that. It's a new thing he's trying, and I don't think it was a smart thing to do with an audience that you can guess it's not for you only.
Yeah.
I would say being, like as you talked about Bassem Youssef has like really sprung into the spotlight because of how let's say, charming and how well spoken he was about the crisis that was happening in Gaza, right? So imagine having to be the comedian just before him, because a lot of things, even Bassem Youssef said, he's like, my comedy is my career.
Yeah.
While what I think about what's happening in Palestine and stuff is just me being a human being, right? Yeah. But people now tend to go to my shows for me to just talk about Israel and Palestine. And he says he tries to steer far away from that.
Well, yeah, because he even mentioned it while Bassem Youssef was performing, because there are two main acts though. Like Mazraban was an opening act. He's a very he's been active for a very long time. He's not just a random person.
No, he's been there.
So it was like an hour of Mazrabani, an hour of Bassem Youssef. So it was good though. And Bassem Youssef, when he went on, obviously he did make some comments and everything. And at the same time, while people really rallied up and were screaming when he takes a shot and makes a comment towards Israel, he said there's a difference between a comedy show and political movement. Everyone calm down. Let's not get into it like that, because
but
it changes the genre of what's happening. You know, because obviously it's nothing to be made fun of what's happening. Exactly. So,
but that's the burden he has. But that's the thing, and he says it all. He had an interview with a very sort of Piers Morgan kind of
character.
Yeah. Presenter, where he was talking about the difficulties between navigating comedy and navigating politics, because he's been thrust into politics now,
right?
So yeah, I mean I can imagine that people tend to look at him now as like a messiah, like, oh, he's the one who's really fighting against these other people that are taking such a strong stance supporting Israel, and he's someone who's well spoken and who's talking about it. So everyone puts their hopes and dreams in him, and he even says it. He's like, I have so many people's hopes and dreams, but I'm just a person. Again, I can't keep. I will let them down sooner or later.
Right.
So I can imagine the fucking pressure, man.
To be honest with you, I was very impressed with his performance.
I didn't even know his comedy. Is his comedy good?
Yeah, that's the thing. Because I went in thinking that, okay, I know Maz Jobrani, but Bassem Youssef has only came in our radar, because of this, what happened with Piers Morgan, the interview. So I was thinking that is his stand-up actually good, or he just knows funny comments and shit like that?
Because he was a Tonight Show type of host in Egypt.
He was a heart surgeon, first of all.
Yeah, first that.
So the thing is that I luckily enough was able to, years back, he actually came on the radar because of what was happening in Egypt, the revolution that was happening.
And he was here for a bit.
Yeah, he still comes here, by the way. He trains in Binos.
Nope.
Yeah, he trains in Binos. Manaf every time said, "Oh, bro, that's him." I said, "Look, I'm not usually a fangirl, but if you see him, please tell him get a signature and tell him that you make a lot of people proud, But the thing is that he used to criticize the regime in Egypt, but they used to call him the Jon Stewart of Egypt.
You know why? Because he was a big fan. So if you watch the podcast he did for Patrick Bet-David, he talks about it. He was a big fan of Jon Stewart, and he met him and everything, and he kept referencing himself as a Jon Stewart of Egypt, and that's became it. And he wasn't really going against basically the Arab Springs and everything it was happening. It was a comedy satire, kind of a show.
It's political satire. It's political satire. That's the difference.
It's a comedy satire political show based. No.
It's political satire.
Basically.
The thing is that what Jon Stewart does is that Jon Stewart himself, he will not directly oppose anyone, but he'll make these theatrics in his shows where he's like, oh, they're not oppressing, and then he'll make a skit where people come and take him away. The Middle East at the time was a very
volatile situation.
Not volatile, but they weren't especially in Egypt and stuff. There wasn't that flexibility of you to take a jab at the government and stuff. Right. So he was the first to do that. And the thing is that, I don't know if you know, Jon Stewart is the one who got him out of Egypt.
I didn't know that. I know his lawyers told him you got to get out. And
he helped him get out. He helped him get out, and also got him a passport for the citizenship.
Okay,
that's really impressive, to be honest. But yeah, his performance was really good. He was pretty smart comedy, to be honest, because the way he even made conversations with the audience, and at the end, I didn't personally, I didn't like the poem part a lot, but he kind of like linked everything that happened, like the bits that he, did during the show. He connected all of them through a poem, but on the spot, he made those references talking to the audience, as in their names and stuff, into it with the rhymes. Meaning
wow.
that what like he.
He's a smart guy, yeah.
He heart surgeon, so like got like, but it was pretty, and it's his second language. Like you can hear the accent.
I was actually gonna ask you because a lot of his shows are in Arabic. So
he does Arabic shows and English shows, but this
was fully English.
English, yeah.
Okay.
And it was really funny. He had like really funny bits, but it was a pretty dope one. And the next day was Tom Segura. Obviously,
I went to that one with him.
He was there as well. It was fucking amazing, but there was an issue, to be honest. So every show that happened during that week started at 8 p.m. Okay, so doors open at 6. It starts at 8 p.m. This show, because there was a late show of Chris Tucker after him, it got moved to 6 p.m. start. So the doors opened up. Doors opened up earlier. I guess people didn't check their fucking emails.
No, because they sent the email like 7 p.m. the night before.
No, they sent an email March, bro.
Oh.
In March 21st, they sent the email. The comedy show was 25th.
So wait, the difference was that from 4 to 6?
No, instead of doors opening at 6, show starting at 8, doors open at like 5, and show started at 6.
Oh shit!
So it was a pretty
Empty.
like when we were buying tickets, it was selling out fast. So imagine like we know that so many people bought the tickets, but when it was the show itself,
Half the place
like
was empty.
60% of the audience didn't show up.
Shit.
So the arena looked pretty empty, and I hope he doesn't take it in a bad way and doesn't like it doesn't prevent him from coming back.
Yeah, come back.
But it was such a good one. But
Did he notice? Did he say anything?
yeah, they
His
made fun
opener,
of it.
especially his opener, because he brought 2 openers from US with him, and especially the first opener, really like a few times it was like mentioned that like how empty the crowd is and like how weird it is performing in front of an arena with like half of it empty and shit. But Tom, he didn't address it as much.
No,
But
it was really good though.
yeah.
I really enjoyed this show.
Did you guys go to Andrew Schultz?
No, because we went to the last one.
Ah, okay. It's the same one.
same tour,
It was the
Special?
same
Same
tour,
tour,
because the name of the tour was the same.
The fuck?
And but Tom Segura one at the end, like Kurush mentioned this, he was like, I noticed now that he's a bit more for male audience.
'Cause there was a lot of like a lot of his jokes were obviously he had some stuff about his family and his children and stuff, but a lot of it was about like, oh, when I was younger, I was hooking up with this chick, and then the story happened, which was a really funny story. But you could tell that like certain jokes, everyone was laughing. Certain jokes, majority the men were laughing, and the women were either not finding it funny or confused by it, or there was a little bit of a delay. Because I was looking at his wife, like, because she was sitting beside us, obviously, not in front of us. And like I could tell like certain jokes is hitting a lot harder with the men than like if it's a jerking off joke or whatever it is.
Yeah, but it's literally for people who can associate with it, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So,
But it was an amazing show. I really liked it. The whole weekend was dope as hell.
But you didn't go to the Chris Tucker one, right?
No.
Yeah.
Bro.
I don't know how that one. I didn't hear about it from anyone. I don't know anyone that went to that show.
No, honestly, the thing is, I found out Chris Tucker was added to the thing later.
Much later.
And I've already gotten 3 tickets. So I was like, like, but it was honestly like a great weekend. It was like all laughter and everything. So, and Nat got into Dave Chappelle now. Because before she was like, the storyline is too long when he does the punchlines and everything. But then afterwards, I kept playing.
but that's the beauty of him. You don't know where it's coming. Like the thing is that he can talk about a story, and then at the last 2 seconds, it just connects everything.
No, I know, but here's the thing. There are different types of comedians. Like there's like, for example, Jimmy Carr, who's like quick. You just like one after another. And then there's like storytellers, but they're short. Then there's Dave Chappelle, and the only one that I know it's like the longest one is Jim Jeffries, because he has one full storyline, the whole act, but during it he sidetracks into jokes and stuff like that. But honestly, it was dope, and obviously, like the headlines about the Palestine thing, Dave Chappelle said, and Bassem Youssef, it was all over the news, because like at the end, even Bassem Youssef, it was like everyone standing, everyone chanting. It was just like
I heard, and I don't know if it's fake news. You see, the thing is that especially with these days, there's so much fake news going around. I heard that Dave Chappelle said a lot of stuff about Israel. Palestine.
He only said two things. The first comment that I mentioned is that like the Jews in the States need to feel safe, so let's not attack the people of the same religion, so it doesn't like they feel like they have to support the country like Israel. You get what I mean?
I get you, but
So
the thing, what he's saying is on everyone's mind. Yeah, it's like
not necessarily.
no one has a problem. No one has problems with Jewish people.
No, they do, bro. In the States, they do. Like, didn't you see the video from Harvard of like the protests they attacking?
No, but those are Zionists.
No, they were attacking people who are just from the Jewish religion. That's it.
Bro, you do know that in Harvard also the protesters, the Palestinian protesters that were there, were peacefully protesting, and then a bunch of people who were Jewish, happened to be Jewish, attacked them and beat them and did all this kind of stuff.
In any way, I hope it doesn't come like I'm supporting that
No,
side.
no,
But I'm
no,
saying no. But what I'm telling you is the fact that like, yes, I'm not denying or agreeing with it because I don't know about that part. But what I'm saying is that it is happening, like the rallies, the protests, and whatever is happening. Like, so that could be. Sorry, just one second. I think my mic cut off.
I'll check.
Sorry about the in between.
No worries.
I'm talking right now. No, because I hit the wire and whatever I hit
All good.
I didn't want to like imagine I'm talking
No,
and then like
it's good.
So yeah, but it is happening during the rallies and the protests. So he said that, and at the end he did say free Palestine.
Oh shit! Okay.
At the very end, when he was like, "Thank you all, bless you all, bless the UAE and free Palestine and goodbye."
I mean,
What about Bassem Youssef? Like, you said that in the beginning he kind of told them to like quiet down, but like,
Yeah, I can't say what he said for certain.
okay,
No, but
not you. I'm not you. I'm just saying.
No, I'm saying no. Here's the thing. It's not a. He just said. He said they're a piece of shit. Okay, and everyone just stood up and screamed and everything, and it just kept going. No one was stopping. So it was like this is now becoming a political kind of movement, not a comedy show. So that's also
no. But if he said at the end,
he said that
okay.
literally right at the beginning, and then he took shots, and then he kept taking shots. He was like, but he didn't make any full. There were no bits about it because I'm telling you, it's kind of difficult.
But bro, it's not. There's nothing to be bits about. Like the thing is that you see, I don't know how much we can get into this, right? But the thing is that you see, as you said before, you said there were Jewish people that were targeted and stuff in US and all. People make mistakes. People get very emotional. They associate that the people that are there who happen to be Jewish are completely in support of Israel, but there are many Jews, very famous Jewish leaders in the U.S. that are against what Israel as a regime is doing. Because you have to remember that when you call someone a Zionist, actually the funny thing is that there are so many Zionists that are not even Jews.
Christian Zionists.
Yeah. So the thing is that what the Arab world has a problem with, and a lot of people tend to use this as a sort of safeguard for Israel is that like, they hate Jews, they want to kill Jews. The biggest exodus of Jews to happened in Europe. Hitler, Spanish Inquisition, all of this. The Middle East, although they talk about in the biblical times when Egypt, the Jews had to leave Egypt for Moses, right? Because they were prosecuted by the Pharaoh. Okay, which predated Islam. This wasn't Islam.
Of course.
Okay, at the time.
It's like 5,000 years ago.
Exactly. So the thing is that we don't have a problem. And the thing is that there's so much documented history about Muslims and Jews living together in harmony. Yeah, there's a lot of them.
May I
sure.
add a comment? The thing is that I completely agree with you. The problem here, like the whole thing mixed up and everything, is the fact that a lot of people were thinking it's religion versus religion. Mm-hmm. Well, it's just one fucking dude who's lost all the gear and is whatever is working there and just going ape shit, and like it's a whole different thing. But continue on at a point later.
No, if you want to add it,
no,
it's fine. But the thing is that you see, as you're saying, it's like when Ukraine and Russia fought, there was a military group that they were talking about there that were these very. Can I say the derogatory term for a German fascist, or I cannot? Yeah? Anyway.
But everyone gets what you're trying to
Yeah,
say.
so you're getting it, yeah. So they said there was a group in Ukraine that was actually very racist, and they were attacking Russia and stuff, and that's why Russia. One of the reasons they attacked was to defend their citizens from this group. Okay, the same thing is being the same.
But the main reason for that is because of the whole NATO thing. It's like Russia said.
Bro, you're correct, 100%. Yeah. Okay. But if you're going into the why is it really happening and stuff, that you can really go into that. Yeah,
that's that one.
Yeah, that can be in a whole episode itself if you want to talk about it. Yeah, but the thing is that when you discuss about what's happening in Gaza and what's happening in Israel, the thing is that what is shocking people and what's showing is that, if you think about it, in exact same motion of what happened in Russia and Ukraine and Israel and Palestine, okay, and when I say Israel, Palestine, I talk about the regime stuff, is that it was the exact same idea, but look at the responses. In Ukraine, everyone went up in arms saying, yeah, you have to protect them, their children dying and this kind of stuff. And then when you talk about Palestine, what's the U.S. done? We will continue to support Israel. We'll continue to support Israel. This has to be, they're doing targeted strikes, 40,000 people dead. You have 70% of them being children, And the thing is that on this show, we don't want to get into politics so much because there are guidelines that we have to abide by if we want to continue doing the show. But the thing is that where do you draw the line? We all joke around about people dying and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, if such an injustice happens in the world, what's going to happen in the future? What future is there? Because now there is a very, very good message that's come out of this. You don't matter. It's all based on your skin color or your religion and stuff, because everyone was up in arms when it happened in Europe, but now it's here and they're just like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to write a very, very hard letter to Israel. So, I think Bassem Youssef, if we want to go back to Bassem Youssef, why I have so much respect for the guy, and me, I like football players, I like this. I will never go and ask for their signature. I will never try to chase them and do all this stuff. Is because the guy went out of his way for an unpopular view. He went out there, he spoke his mind, he went against people who are following that regime or support that regime. And his message could be twisted, but he was so well articulated, used very good points. And, I'm sure we don't know the full picture. He could be suffering from it, but he's also benefiting from it. He has a lot of support going on for him. He was here. He did a couple of shows. I was at Expo, and he was at the Expo. And the UAE government gave him so I don't know if you guys have been to the Expo area.
After Expo was finished?
Yeah, after Expo. We had the COP28, which was like the... it's basically like a event where they talk about how to better reduce greenhouse gases and stuff, how to make the world a better place in terms of social...
Is that what it is about?
Yeah.
You know what I thought till this moment is about?
For cops?
I thought it's one of those conventions that all the new technology for cops and shit is out. He's just a bomb robot. I don't know. I legit thought that's it.
So if you want to get a perp, this is
because you see videos of what do you call that? Conventions in interventions. Videos of conventions.
You go to Expo and they said, Kurosh, come here. We have to tell you something.
No, I thought it's one of those that all the new gadgets and this is a drone that shoots you and shit.
Yeah, but they won't do that here, bro. Because
no. But they do have military conventions and stuff like that.
Yeah, but
it's not open to public.
It's not open to public, bro. That's the difference.
No, you can go to. There's shows that show security expos and stuff. You have to buy a ticket. You have to be screened and stuff. But this COP28 is basically how it's the world's commitment to stop global warming. Right. And how to change companies for the better and stuff. He was there and he was sitting and people, 90% of them were like, Bassem, tell us about Israel. And he's like, guys, I'm sitting here for comedy and stuff like that. And if you want to talk, he talked a little bit about it.
Bro, I was so confused when he first started the story. I'm like, what's he doing with cop equipment? It's looking for sponsors? What? Oh my God.
No, because bro, he's here a lot. And I'm sure that, man, he must be so popular. I remember when I was telling my friend, he said he trains in our gym. I'm like, bro, how many people stop him? And he's like, man, you don't understand. The guy can't get in there anymore.
He needs to build a house gym, for that level of fame. He needs to do
But yeah, man. again, what's happening in the world. Even now, man, they've bombed Rafah. You know, I might be butchering the words. They bombed it, and it's a tent city, bro. It's just tents. You bomb the area, and then 1 minute Israel says that it was a mistake, and then it was a calculated strike, and then it was an unfortunate event. And where is the line that's
Does
gonna?
it really matter what they say?
No, but dude, the thing is that you have to remember, right? If let's say Iran does something less than half of this, what do you think is gonna happen?
Bad shit.
Let's go with a different example, please.
No, because you have to think of it like, you know.
But let's think of a different country.
Shit, man, my phone's ringing. I don't know.
Okay, any Arab country that were to do that to
No, whatever. If it was anyone else, it would have been really, really bad consequences for their actions. But right now, there have been no consequences for all this shit that's been happening for months.
But that's why I think the UN's joke.
Because of the whole superpower veto shit.
But bro, it's a joke because what kind of, first of all, the UN was founded by one of the members being the US, yeah, after World War II. The thing is that the United Nations is a joke. It's like you both fighting each other and you're killing each other, you're stabbing each other, and your mothers come to me and say, please help my children, and I go there, Bardia, if you keep stabbing Korosh, I'm going to be very upset with you.
Fine.
Yeah, but dude, like you know, again, it's a fucking joke. And again, I know this. Our show's supposed to be about jokes and that stuff, but
no, but like an interesting. I have to word this very carefully. An interesting view was.
Can I say one thing before?
Yeah.
Do you see how we have to word things different? Like it's crazy.
But I have
like,
to tell you something. It is the fact that we are trying to be careful, but at the same time, we are careful about a lot of different things as well. It's not just specific to this. Only thing is that we're careful about it because it's currently happening. But I'm just putting it in like a large scale. If we were to talk about anything that has happened beforehand as well, that's why we have the bleeps happen. Because we're noticing that we're getting filtered because we're passionate about something that's happening right now in the current time. You know what I mean? Because we're talking about beforehand and still getting the bleeps between our talk, our words don't have any effect because it's already happened. It's in the past.
But Korosh, Bardia, can I ask, if I say right now all Muslims are, will I get bleeped on this? Will I really?
Yes.
And if I say that all Jews, is there an equal response for both?
Yeah, because it's still the word. It's the word is the red flag here.
Okay, on YouTube it's different, but in real world, if you say that, one of them you'll get excommunicado, which is basically
John Wick shit.
It literally is like that, you know. But
no, but because obviously the social media platforms that you're speaking of, they were getting what do you call it when no one can
shadow ban.
You get shadow ban. That's what happened. Like if some people's stories went from views of like I don't know a couple hundreds to like 12, you know, because it was getting shadow banned. That's the sad reality of it. But like for this one, no, we've always kept balance of like we get to speak our minds, but like we can't say because it's opinionated when you say like anything in a descriptive word of it. You know what I mean? Like you're like these are fucking like you know I don't know whatever it is gonna be bleeped anyway. So you get my point. But this is the interesting viewpoint that was brought to me, and I'm saying I have to carefully choose my words because it might come off wrong to you. Not because of this. It was saying that a friend of a friend went to Israel a couple of years ago, and they were saying that when they were there, everything in the media is the same way that people in the States are being like the algorithm and everything is hitting them. It's the fact that in the States, when you're there, the algorithm showing you how everyone in the world, every other country is against you, and that's why we have to be everywhere. That's why we have to have our nose in everyone's asses. And that's why all this shit is happening. Like the army has to move on. Like the Second Amendment is our right for everything. The algorithm is like affecting them like that. The same thing is happening there. Everyone there from the moment of birth, and you only associate yourself socialize with people of the same, like people who are from the same nationality or the same religion. And they're all being targeted in a way that everyone around you hates you and they want you to disappear. So they're growing that kind of a fear into them from childhood till adulthood. So obviously it doesn't justify anything that they're doing, but at the same time, this is their mindset is not like they view everyone as animals and animals have to die. It's the fact that they've been like taught to think that way and been targeted to think that way as well.
But Barde, you said a very good point. And I mean, that's exactly the whole point of propaganda, right?
Yeah.
One of the people that suffer the most from Netanyahu and the Israeli regime are Israelis themselves. You know that in Israel, every year there's, I can't say hundreds, but there are many protests to overthrow him because he has been in office for too long. There's unequal rights that were happening before. You know, they talk about apartheid. I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but South Africa had an apartheid where, you know, people of certain color could not walk with other people of a certain color. In Israel, they still had it. And they had because you had a large group of Jewish people coming from, if I'm not mistaken, Ethiopia that then were moved into Israel. At the time, they were basically migrated there because they were being, what's the word? Targeted by the local population that's there. And there are many reports that were saying that a lot of these people were inseminized, which means that they were made sterile so they couldn't populate, because they didn't want to have that demographic.
Yeah,
in Palestine,
the women of color who were Jewish were
sterilized
that they won't be able to populate with that certain race into them.
So
there was Ari Shafir, Ari Shafir, the Jewish comedian, but he's like he has a special out on YouTube, one of the best specials I've ever seen, and the special name of the special is Jew, and he talks about it actually. He says like someone asked me if being a Jew is a race or a nationality, and he was like kind of both, because you can pick a Jew out of a theater line instantly, so it's kind of a both. That's why there's this mistake of the fact that what's happening in Israel is all the Jews are like this, and how they're saying all the shit that's happening to Palestine, whatever is happening in Palestine, is all Muslims. You know what I mean? Like the line is blurred and it's just defined as Muslim against Jew.
But that's the thing.
People
don't understand in Gaza you have Christians.
Yeah,
you have other.
Jesus was born.
Yeah.
in that area, Jerusalem.
But that's the thing. You that's exactly what you said before. There's a propaganda that comes out and says everyone outside of this area wants to kill you. But the thing is that well before the establishment of the regime that is Israel, the Israeli state, was that you had Jews that were there. The thing is that well before World War II. After World War II, you had the Balfour Accord, which basically meant that the Jews that were in Europe, if they wanted, they could go to Israel. And they were brought there.
By the British.
By the British, because the British were controlling that authority, were controlling Palestine area, at the time, And the thing is that those people came in and those people saw, we're well educated. We come from an industrialized country, Europe, Poland, all these places. We come from here and, the Palestinians that are there first were farmers and, they focus on agriculture and stuff. So again, the Israelis that were there were able to industrialize their part of the area, make factories, become wealthier and stuff, and then they pushed out the Palestinians that were there. Everyone talks about October 7, but do you guys know about how over 1 million Palestinians after the Balfour Accord were pushed out overnight into where now the overall area is for Gaza, Rafah, all these places. So it's...
Yeah, the thing is that I'm a bit vague on exactly what happened, but I know that like at that point Egypt went against Egypt lost, and then they took that area and then they gave it back to Egypt and all these...
Even Lebanon.
And Lebanon,
Even
yes.
Lebanon.
Yeah. But I don't... like the dates, the exact shit, because I don't know. I don't want to...
Look, again, you see, the thing is that the idea here is that it's not a people that are bad. It's a government that is fear-mongering and making a people hostile to one another. But again, genocide is genocide. And again, what... Because I was thinking about it, and I told you guys before, I said, look, we can talk about many things. We can laugh about a submarine imploding and stuff, but this is
It's different.
It's no, but it's so funny. The funny thing about it is because no one's doing shit.
Yeah.
You know, and it's such a 180 compared to what's happening in Ukraine. And although loss of life is loss of life.
Is Ukraine and Russia still happening?
Yeah.
Like on the same scale? Because I feel like no one's talking.
No. It's like because it's lost its juice. You know what I mean? Like,
But is it like still at the same level, or it's kind of slowed down a bit?
no, it's still on the same level. But the thing is that there's like now they've put lines in the sand where it's like usually push pull. Ukraine has an offensive, and then Russia has an offensive. Zelensky goes to America and talks that he needs money, and
That fucking guy, man.
you know, and the thing is that it's still happening, but it's no longer the topic of everyone.
Topic of conversation.
Yeah, but the thing is that you have the people in Europe, in Ireland, in South Africa, in France, and all this. The people don't want to support what's going on, but the cabinet will be like, we'll still continue to support Israel. Israel is a democracy. How is Israel a democracy if Netanyahu has been opposed and they want to remove him, is not getting removed?
There's democracy and then there's democracy. So this
Yeah, but that's
realistically, there's no democracy.
exactly
real democracy.
exactly.
No, you don't see it anywhere.
They say that
Democracy doesn't exist.
Israel is the only democratic country in the Middle East.
By label, yeah, they say that they are everywhere else.
Yeah, but I
they're
can
like,
tell
"We're
you,
not."
I can tell you, I'm 7 foot and Nigerian.
I was gonna respond to you in a different way. I really hope
It doesn't matter.
Pull out your penis.
But I'm saying to you, is it? If I say it is, doesn't mean it is.
No, of course, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's
That's such a wild example.
no, because it's like the opposite. I'm white, and like.
Yeah, it's like the priest saying they were old enough, but no, they're not. Doesn't matter. It's just
But yeah, it's just
it's just because he says they are.
no, man. It's. But Bassem Youssef said something that was so sad, but so intelligent to say. When he was talking to this guy on BBC, he said, how do you feel after, everything that's going on? He said nothing's going to change. He said because when it was 3,000 people who were dead, now it's 30. No one gives a shit. No one will give a
I
shit.
saw him in an interview. I saw shorts of him on an interview, but I don't know what interview it was on. It wasn't like showing the host. And like the way he put it was that the rule of jungle, the big east, is, the strong east, the weak. Mm-hmm. And then when you have a bunch of strongs that are on the same team, fuck you gonna do?
Yeah, but that's how it is. Again, taxpayers paying money to keep Israel well funded with weapons and stuff like that, and you always have Europe and the US who are on their side. But the thing is that I honestly think nothing's gonna change. I think because as Bassem Youssef said, if one child doesn't stop you from bro, there was some. I couldn't believe it. There were CNN and BBC news journalists saying a girl Hind, oh God rest her soul, this girl, she must have been 5 or 6 years old, and they're like, a woman was killed by an Israeli sniper. She's 5. Why don't you say a child? No. You see, it's the narrative that like. It's crazy, man.
It comes down to money as well, man.
But yeah, I mean, again, it's how it is, and I could probably put money on it and say to you, nothing's gonna change.
Yeah, all we can do is give our prayers and
yeah, I mean,
see how it goes.
It's shit, but yeah, our thoughts and our prayers are with Palestine, and I want to say something, but it becomes too politically, charged. But honestly, free Palestine.
Yeah, but
it's not very politically charged. I feel like it's
no, dude, it is. In the US, if you say it.
No, I'm saying like...
I'm an anti-Semitic, even though I'm Semitic. You know that?
You're Semitic?
Yeah. Arabs are Semitic.
To be honest, I don't exactly know what that word means.
Okay, I'll explain to you. So, you know how in gene coding and historical, the history of human beings, you have certain groups of people. Yeah,
right.
You have people that are, I don't know the correct term for people who have branched out to Asia, but I do know that the Arab world, there is Semites, Semites are a group of people that they've categorized as moving into the Middle East, and they have some basic characteristics within themselves. Right? Like Aryans. Aryans are usually German. Persians are also considered Aryans. It's a type of people that historically, prehistorically migrated to a certain area, and they have certain features like fair skin. Some of them can have blue eyes. Some of them can have blonde hair. Those are Aryans. Yeah. Now the thing is that whenever you criticize someone who tends to be a Zionist and stuff, they'll say you're an anti-Semite. And they say that you are against our people, and they say to Arabs also you're anti-Semite, but we are Semites.
Yeah, but it's a...
So I'm anti myself?
No, but okay. Here's the thing. That's such a shitty... I think even Bassem Youssef said this. It's such a shitty thing to say because like you're just ending the conversation when someone's talking because you're calling them a racist or like a I don't know whatever anti-Semitic, or is that the right word?
Anti-Semitic.
Yeah, anti-Semitic or shit like that. You're just ending the conversation. It's like a cheap out. It's like saying like when you say to like these like pussy ass the people on TikTok and you're attacking me. I feel attacked. It's the same shit. It's a victim mentality thing that they have, right? At the same time, though, as much as that shit, like we can't really be like, you know what, we're from the same area, so it's like, how can I be anti-Semitic because of this? Because that word lost its value because of how much it's used for the improper things. Like when someone's stating a fact and they're saying
but the thing is that it didn't lose its value. Here we brush it off because the thing is that, again, how can I be an anti-Semitic if I myself am a Semite? Yeah, and the thing is that it's like saying a black person's racist because he uses the N-word, but they themselves use it with one another.
Not a great example, but I get what you mean. Because like race is race, not like you're anti.
But they're using it in that sense.
Yeah, I know.
Using it in that sense.
Yeah, but words over time changed like the meaning. Like
exactly
the same way that people used to use the word literally to say literally. It for a while it changed meaning to the exact opposite. Like I don't think you can keep the meaning from whenever it was when everyone else is using it for a different
but that's interpretation.
Yeah, but
and
that's going to take now a technicality of the word itself is like both ways is lost. Like he can't say that shit when you're stating a fact or saying that like, oh, you're killing people, oh, you're anti-Semitic, right? But I said, no, you are fucking killing people. Yeah. So how is that making me anti-Semitic? But at the same time, like as a response, that's better to say that like but it's true and has nothing to do with that. Rather than
you happen to be someone who's murdering, and you happen to be a Semite. So again, it's I think it's like as you said in TikTok, there's a very big victimization thing that happens here. Right?
In general, with our like the war stuff aside, in general, I feel like this generation has kind of like. Not necessarily our generation, but like the few generations after us, the younger ones. Like
no, even our generation, because we are here, we're not like this. But if the same thing I said about the algorithm thing, it's like shaping a specific culture, region. Yeah. Same thing. We're learning to not victimize ourselves, but stand for ourselves and like deal with the shit.
Yeah.
But for them, it's just like today's too hard,
just the victim.
I feel everyone's attacking me.
Would you say that? Because actually, I mean, a lot of the people that are making the biggest rallies and protests are people that are from that new generation.
Yeah, I know, bro, but
we're just talking about the victim
mentality
not related to the Palestine-Israel.
There's difference here as well. Like everything branches out, and everything comes with an advantage and a disadvantage. For example, in the States, there's freedom of speech, so someone can literally say shit against whatever it is, and people will,
But there is no freedom of speech in the US.
Of course, there is.
Compared to everywhere else, there is.
I mean, there's a variety, but if you say anything against a certain group of people,
yeah, because they are people who have influence and the authority and everything like that. But in a concept way, that's the First Amendment.
No, bro, come on. I know what you're referring to, but compared to anywhere else in the world,
bro, you're comparing now. But you see, the thing is that it's not about comparison. It's about if it's called freedom of speech, it is freedom of speech. Yeah. If I say something about a system that is bad,
Yeah.
right? If I'm saying that there is a genocide, if I'm saying this, if I tell you go murder someone, that is itself different. If I say that this regime is corrupt, if this is that, and then I get my actual life changed, I get banned, I get this, I get that, I lose my job, I do that. That's not freedom of speech.
Bro, yeah, that's the thing that we've talked about this before. But if you're talking about social media and the things that get affected because, let's say, either you posted something on social media or someone posted something of you on, like, let's say, like someone was in a protest, was saying something and posted on social media. We're talking about private companies. That's different. You can't apply the same thing to them.
As a concept that you can, not saying with no consequences, you can say it. But if you work for a company that's related to the shit they said against,
it's freedom of speech, not freedom of freedom
of
like,
no
everything,
consequences.
No, but everything has consequence. But the thing is that, I don't know if you guys have seen, but people who talk against, you have government officials that if they talk about it, they have to resign. This is government officials.
I understand. I'm not saying. Listen, like the way you're saying it is like, you're saying it's not freedom of speech because it's not freedom of speech to the perfect, like 100%. But nothing in this world is that, like, you can't put anything to base on exactly on
It's
the
like
definition.
subjective freedom of speech.
Yeah, it is, but what I'm saying is compared to anywhere else, that's the example that, like, that's the best one we have in this world. I understand in a utopian world, this would not be considered a freedom of speech, but like compared to anywhere else, like we are all raised in like different countries, like growing up and everything, and not you don't have anywhere anything close to that. So I'm saying like the closest thing we have right now to freedom of to actual freedom of speech is that. It's the same thing with a democracy. Like technically, if you go based on the definition of what democracy is, no one is a democratic country. Like no one has democracy.
No, because again, you have people who interfere because they want to keep power, they want to keep control.
It's just nature of humans, though.
Yeah, that is the nature of humans. But the thing is that people always say that America's the land of the free, and we have freedom of speech, and we can talk about this, and everyone has a right to say what they want. Actually, you don't. The right to say what you want. If you yourself don't support the agenda of that government, then you're fair game.
As long as stupid shit, you can say whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Like,
and by the way, you're right. If you talk about the illusion of freedom of speech, America has the best. Yeah,
I'm saying from what we have, that's the best one.
I mean, again, so the
Give
thing
me a better example. If there's a better
but
example,
in Europe also you can.
fuck off. What are you talking about, man? They have nowhere close to freedom of speech. You can get prosecuted for shit that you say a lot easier than you can in US.
No, but in Norway and all these kind of places.
Any other country, Canada, anywhere in Europe, anywhere in Middle East, anywhere in Asia, you just because they don't practice it, it doesn't mean they can't apply it to you if they want to. In England, you can get prosecuted for shit you say. In Canada,
But England is not a part of Europe.
Now, but like again, going to the technicality of it, there's
You're a fucking British citizen. You did Brexit. Okay?
I did. Okay, I did Brexit. Yeah, come on, guys, rally behind me. I had nothing to do with that shit.
roundabout.
Imagine they push him off. Also, hey, what the fuck?
Some of my least favorite people in England are British people. What the fuck are you talking about? If we could do reverse Brexit, go for it. Like, just saying. I'm saying from the shit we have, that one is slightly less shittier. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying it's close to the definition. I'm just saying from everything else
That's your opinion, and I'll respect it. But
do you think there's a country that's better in terms of that?
Again, the idea of freedom of speech. I believe
you're talking about the idea. I'm talking practical.
Yeah,
like
no,
practically.
In practice.
Yeah, in practice.
Bro, in
you know
practice.
What? Fuck you two. I'm leaving this one.
I'm not saying against it. I'm actually agreeing with him.
In practice, I mean, again, anywhere in the world, if you don't go with the agenda, yeah, it's like look at in Scandinavia, they were burning Qurans.
Okay.
Yeah, they were burning Qurans, and in the beginning, they were like, you can do it. It's fine. It's his right to do what he wants with what he bought or what he owns. He can burn it, and that was inciting people to get upset and to get angry. Now it's changed. If you burn a Quran, it's a criminal offense.
So that's the exact example. There's no freedom of speech there.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I told you there's nowhere that has freedom of speech.
No, okay.
You're saying there's less of they have some. I'm like, to be honest, there's no certain freedom of speech.
I don't agree with you on that one.
Let me explain. There is, because they have the right to protest. Okay, they have the right to say all the things that there are. Again, there is freedom of speech, but there will be consequences to what you say, because it could be any other way. It could be people, like it could be.
Is freedom of speech the same as freedom of protest?
Falls under it, I think.
Because you're, expressing your opinion about it. You're expressing if you're for or against it. Like, just think about it like this. Let's take what the main subject that we're concentrating on, like put it aside for a second. In the States, there are people who are, racist and white supremacists, right? Obviously, that's wrong. But they have the freedom of saying shit, or sometimes some shit might go off and everything like that. But there has to be a limitation, because if there's freedom of speech and freedom of action were to be applied, then those racist people who were in power not so long ago could have, taken that rule that they're free to do whatever and done some horrible shit against people who are of color. You know what I'm saying? So like there are limitations, because it could lead to violence. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but then if you're talking about that, then
it's different apparently. By the way, it's slightly different. One is called freedom of speech. The other one is called what's it called? Fuck, I lost it. The right to assemble and petition. But I think they're like connected to each other.
Because the thing is that if you have an example of that, you talk in the US, students were sitting in Harvard, students were sitting in all these universities and just sitting on the lawn. They weren't bothering anyone. They weren't doing anything. And the police came and beat the shit out of them to move out of the way.
It escalates because here's the thing. Like, I'm not saying that like they're doing the right way, but I am saying that they are practicing it to an extent where you can say some stuff. You can still gather around and say Free Palestine or whatever, because they can do that. A lot of places you cannot. Most places you cannot. And the only place that has a large population where it allows people to gather and say, as long as it's peaceful, it is. But there are areas that are sensitive. There are areas that are, if they were to gather and if they were to protest for it, the second a cop shows up and they refuse, the cop has the right to...
Yeah, but the cop enforces the government's agenda. The cop is not a cop that the cop is not a cop that's a sheriff and walks around and he has his own ideas of what's right and what's wrong. The thing is that I'm saying to you is that I understand you guys are saying that there is, they have the better
not better
situation
as a preference.
No, they have a better situation than other countries in the world, okay? Where they can talk about the freedom of speech. But the thing is that, like, when you have cabinet members, when you have people in government that say, look, I support Palestine or I support this, these people are outed. What is so bad about saying that you are supporting Palestine? Again, it just goes to show
killing people. Like,
So what's the point? How is he not allowed or she not allowed to say her opinion on something? She didn't say all Jews have to die. She didn't say that kind of stuff. She said that, he or she said that I don't agree what's going on. We need to have a ceasefire. We need to do this. That's what I'm saying. You're right. If you look at it in the terms of what you believe is the freedom of speech, yes, the US has the closest
yes, that's the right
out of
word. It's the
idea,
closest, not
idea
the
of
best.
it.
Not the best. It's the closest. Because, this could go into a whole nother topic, but the thing is that I don't necessarily agree with it. We've had a discussion about it. It's like, how much freedom would you think it should be like, allowed for people, and how much control should be on them. And the thing is that, like, if it's controlled with the right intentions, it's actually much better than if freedom is given, because out of 100 people, there are 10 people who would use that for the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying? There's a big yes.
I think...
Because it was like 5 seconds, you were like staring at you.
No, I was thinking because the thing is that, again, I think Korosh makes a good when anything is being controlled by people, there's always going to be a agenda that's there. You know, so again, it's not perfect.
I'll give you an example with like the BLM movement that started in the US a couple of years ago, right? The general assumption, although it's never confirmed, it's the old white man rules America, and they try to keep like other races down, right? And then you saw that in the BLM protests, like with I'm talking about like you know how you were saying that like the police officers push the agenda, right? You had certain cities that for the protests you had the permits, you weren't becoming violent, you weren't burning down shops, stealing shit, and all of that. The police came with the people, let them do their protest. They didn't do anything, but then as soon as it went outside the boundaries that the same law that gives them the right to assemble that gets crossed, then the police intervenes. I'm not saying all the cops are good, all the cops are bad, or they're gonna reply the same way in every like protest or in every state or every county or whatever. But there is some of that in the examples you gave as well. You don't know the whole story behind it. You won't know the whole story behind it because there might not be footage of it. That police officer, if there's like 30,000 people, for example, protesting, if a group of 8 of them start making like going outside the boundaries of what that right to assemble like gives them, then that whole protest is canceled. That might never be captured on film. All you see is the reaction of all the cops attacking the 30,000 people, for example.
Yeah,
you know?
but that's perspective of media. That's what you see and what you don't see.
All I'm saying, I'm trying to make it a balanced argument. Like, yes, I agree with you that a lot of times that a certain agenda is so overpowering that it affects that freedom of speech there. But at the same time, some of the cases is not that. It's some shit that happened that we don't know about. Because our algorithm doesn't pick it up, people didn't post it, people didn't film it, or for whatever the fuck the reason is. Just saying, like, in my opinion, like that's the balanced way to look at it.
The thing is that like if you want to see how corrupt this UN and stuff is,
UN is fucking useless.
No. But the UN is basically just a third arm for the US. Yeah. The thing is that there's a very interesting. It's a very short video. I don't know if the guy's Iranian because he looks Iranian. He talks about how Israel, Israel was created by the United Nations, right? They wrote the doctrine, and the founding of Israel literally says that in its actual creation that it will follow and abide by the international laws set upon the United Nations. Yeah. He then brings up a tally point of how many times the United Nations has said that Israel has breached laws, and how many of them Israel has actually listened to and ignored. Yeah. Out of, I think, 131 or something like that, they only accepted 3. Yeah. Which they were shown to be wrong. But every law that was done by the UN to protect Israel, their acceptance rate of that law was 100%. And their rejection for the ones that were against Israel was 7%. So again, there is an agenda that is there. And again, you're right, it's media. I'm not saying that, and that's why I said in the beginning, I said that
3 over 100 something, it can't be 7%.
No,
I'm just
man. What the fuck?
Fucking Rain Man over here, like do calculations.
I will get you the
no,
exact
I'm not
number,
asking
bro.
for it. I was just saying no because I know it's shit. I'm sorry to cut you off even for that. No, because like Bassem Youssef had this thing in PBD podcast. He said that like out of the 88 vetoes that US has done in the UN Council, like 50 something of them were for protecting Israel. Like as a country, imagine out of 88 vetoes that you've used, over like 60% of it were for another country.
But it's not even protecting Israel from like a war that's gonna come to them. It's like, yo, stop stepping on these guys' throats. So, let them have water. Let them have this. It's then they talk about Hamas. But read the history of Hamas. Read the history of Netanyahu. Again, I'm very much, and Korosh, and you, Bardia, I know that the world is not black and white. There's so many shades. There's so many things. But it's like you see the school bully that's just being patted on the back by the teacher for beating up the disabled kid.
I know. I'm just imagining.
You know what I mean? Like you put people in a prison, you don't give them water, you ration their foods, you ration their taxes, you ration everything. And then you're surprised that they, when they have the chance, fight back. You know, someone's terrorist is someone's freedom fighter. It's just how it is.
Yeah, no one's thing is justice, fair, or that's how it should be.
None of it is fair, and the unfortunate part of it is how very much we feel bad about it and everything else. The sad reality is that it's still happening, and like how it's becoming a situation where like realistically thinking about it, like how the fuck is it gonna stop? You know, that's the unfortunate part of it.
But that's what happens. I feel like it's not gonna stop, and I don't know, World War III is going to come, or I think we already have World War III happening, because if you think about it, there's Ibrahim, the guy who we had on our podcast last time. He said he had a video on his TikTok, which is very interesting. He said that World War II had a certain amount of countries that were involved in that time, and World War III already has happened because there's more countries in conflict in that certain period of time than there was in World War II. It's just that there wasn't a line in the sand. Yeah, there wasn't like a global front line, you know? Yeah. And the thing is that I wonder what's going to happen now.
A lot of people say this, like this conflict, Russia, Ukraine, you got fucking North Korea, all that shit, China, you got...
Bro, don't talk about North Korea. You know what they did?
No, I'm saying like all of this, a lot of people, like the people do fucking analysis, whatever the fuck you call them, they think that this could, with one wrong step, this could be the start of World War III.
I mean, hopefully not.
No, it's just funny how you brought up North Korea, and then like 2 days ago, there's a news article about North Koreans putting balloons and putting trash and shit inside, and then flying it over to South Korea. Like that really is a level of hate you'll never understand.
You know, that's not what I was talking about.
No, but it's just funny because you were talking about everything. Because now there hasn't been any fighting, no war happening between them, but they had that shit happen.
Like if all the conflicts that could potentially happen, the big ones, like the big 5 or 6, if they happen, then of course it's gonna lead to World War III.
Where do you go? Where do you go when World War III happens?
What do you think? Wherever has what?
New Zealand.
Bunker, bro. That's where you go.
I don't have the money for a bunker.
That's all you gotta do.
No, New but they think in a case of a nuclear war, one of the only places that might survive is Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah, because they're so fucking far away from everything.
Yeah, in terms of radiation. That's why all the fucking billionaires are building bunkers in New Zealand.
Yeah, New Zealand's better.
Yeah. Nice, and also nice people, fucking amazing island, good food.
Let's say you're going to take a 10-hour flight. 10. Yeah. It's 9 hours to Bali. Australia's right below it. It's 10 hours.
Bro, last time I flew there, it was a lot longer than that.
Really?
I think it's more than that.
It's like 12 hours still.
Hey, fuck you, bro. Hey, you're the one who looked at my statistics and you were like, 7 is impossible.
It took me like 20 hours to get back. It wasn't a direct flight, but it took me like
20 hours.
I had to fly from New Zealand to Australia. Then, thank you guys for watching this episode of the podcast.
No, but let's
hope
wrap
you
it up.
enjoyed it. No, I'm actually finishing. Fuck you. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And holy shit, this was a different vibe than our last episode.
Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this one as well.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
See you next week.
See you guys.